I'm Alex Michelson. This week, the issue is polarization. Pollster Frank Luntz is here with his roadmap to distort democracy and the lessons we all can learn from West Point cadets. Plus, the chair of the California Republican Party, Corrin, Rankin, here to talk about the potential for Democrats to redistrict Republicans out of Congress. And an exclusive with legendary Dodger pitcher Clayton Kershaw on faith, family, and community service. The Issue Is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, you're watching The Issue Is.
The Atlantic features a new podcast by Garry Kasparov with Frank Luntz called The Pollster Who Sensed Democracy Was Faltering. In it, they discuss a roadmap to restore American democracy. With us in studio to talk about that and more is Frank Luntz, one of the best known and most successful pollsters and strategists in recent political history. Frank, welcome back to The Issue Is.
You know, viewers won't know this, but you said to me just before we came on air, let's have some fun. And my response back to you is that there's nothing fun about this. And this is how I truly feel.
That's just spending time with me?
I'm listening to the country. I'm watching the decline in trust and confidence in institutions. I'm watching the polarization as we pull further and further apart. And I'm watching the anger that we express to each other in simple daily conversation. And we're in trouble.
And your focus groups, you said that there's one word that sort of encapsulates the spirit of where Americans are at right now. What's that word?
Enough. And enough. All caps. Exclamation point. Probably red letters. Because they're screaming it now. This is a primal scream. They've had enough of the anger. They've had enough of the toxicity that our politics are, and they want us to come together. I'm watching you showing video right now of Gavin Newsom, the governor. They don't want him to be the loyal opposition. They don't want him to be resistance. What they're asking from him, and they're asking of Republicans and Democrats alike, is shut up and do your job. And that's what they're asking for from the people that we elect to office. Just stop playing politics and get the job done.
But then there's also, at the same time, this infrastructure set up that incentivizes this, right? There's a media infrastructure that incentivizes conflict. There's a social media infrastructure that emphasizes lack of nuance, fighting, and that's where they get money from. That's where they get attention from. Working together doesn't seem to get you anywhere in this infrastructure.
And you mentioned the two most important, but there's a third and a fourth. The third is education. We're not being taught critical thinking. And the fourth thing are politicians that are prepared to take advantage of the system that you speak of and forget that first and foremost, they represent the people.
So the only institution right now that people tend to trust is the military.
Exactly.
And you, for the last couple of years, have been teaching at West Point. Talk about the main lessons that you have learned from the cadets that you teach at West Point.
So that picture right there was taken from Kevin McCarthy's office, the Speaker's office. And the cadets, they are the best in terms of character. It's leadership with character. That's the core principle of what West Point teaches. Selfless service, critical thinking, problem solving, team building, and character development. There's no other school like it. And it produces the most incredible human beings. This is a typical day or a typical week. Push-ups. If my cadets say the word like, I give them a warning. If they say like a second time, they're on the ground and doing 10 push-ups. They do it again, 20 push-ups. You know what happens? I produce young people who don't say like. You show me another university that does that. That's just an example. They're up at 5:30 in the morning, sometimes earlier. They sleep outside, in the rain, in the snow, sometimes with no covering. As part of their training, they learn discipline, they learn resilience. All the attributes that every parent wants their kid to have is exactly what they teach. And I get a chance to meet May of every year and in August of every year, the best young leaders on the face of the globe.
And you've, as we just saw in those images, have introduced them to the top leaders in both the Republican and Democratic parties, the top leaders in media as well. You've introduced them to everybody. What do you think are the takeaways that they get from those meetings? Obviously, a lot of those people are probably speaking to them, but what would you want the leaders to take from meeting them?
First, we are blessed. We are truly blessed to have this academy and the Naval Academy and Air Force. We are blessed to have these places that don't focus on woke, focus on real life challenges, focus on the way things are, not the way we wish them to be. Second is that this academy produces the best quality leaders on the face of the earth. Third, all the values that we promote, civility, decency, respect, resilience, discipline, focus. Every single cadet, without exception, has these qualities or they don't graduate.
Yeah.
And finally, they restore my faith in the country and in the Constitution, because this is something that I want every viewer to know. They don't defend the president. They don't defend the country. They don't even defend us. They're there to defend the Constitution, the greatest document that's ever been written, and they do so with pride, with dedication, with persistence and perseverance.
You've spent a lot of your life in politics in a pretty cynical world with a lot of cutthroat situations.
Yes, and look what it's done to me.
And how has spending time with them changed you?
I should never let someone do a third question, because I can handle the first two, and the third question brings this out of me. I'm the worst person in the room. And they tell me, stop saying this, but I am. A cadet cannot lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate anyone who does. I'm sure that you've seen people behave badly in your day-to-day life. You can't do that at West Point. You have to speak up. They make me a better person. I live by better standards, by better values. I take ethics seriously, and I speak up and I speak out in ways I never did before. We all need to do more.
Yeah.
And that should be the story of this segment. How can we do more to make this country cleaner, safer, and healthier?
Thank you for the inspiration.
Thanks.
Up next, we get into some of that politics with Corrin Rankin from the California GOP party.
I've participated in politics at every single level.
That was Corrin Rankin with me days before she was elected chairwoman of California's Republican Party. Well, it's been about 100 days since that election, and now Corrin Rankin is back with us here in studio for an update. Welcome back to The Issue Is. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So, what would you say is your signature accomplishment in the first 100 days?
Well, when I ran for chair of the California Republican Party, I ran on a phrase of going on the offense. And so that's just what I intended to do. Some of the things that we've been able to accomplish so far are our voter contact software. So we've upgraded that to make sure that our volunteers are equipped with the best voter contact software that's available on the market, that's not going to infringe upon their right to get out the vote. Also, our voter registration. So that's something that's near and dear to my heart. So we're going to be launching a massive voter registration program that's going to span throughout our target regions in California. We're taking the model from Florida, the model that flipped Florida from a purple state to a red state, and we're bringing that right here to California. Additionally, I wanted to go on the offense with our social media program and our media market. And since me being elected chair, we have increased our digital media presence by 600%.
Wow. Now, of course, one of the biggest challenges for you as chair is the 2026 elections, and especially the congressional races. And there's a big question now on what those congressional districts are going to look like. So let's back up a second. In 2010, California passed independent redistricting, where we have a panel every 10 years of citizens, not politicians, who draw our lines for the districts to try to make them less partisan. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes, well, Californians voted for it, like you said, in 2010 by an overwhelming majority. So our party, we're going to stand with Californians. This is what the voters want, to take the redistricting process out of the hands of politicians and into the hands of California voters.
So Texas is looking at changing the way that they do districting to make it where there would be more Republican districts to help Texas's numbers in the House, which some there say is taking it out of the hands of voters. Should Texas not do that if you think that this is a good policy?
I don't really know what Texas should do. I'm not familiar with Texas politics. I'm the chair of the California Republican Party, and I'm laser focused on Californians.
But you have an idea what Texas is doing. I mean, it's a huge national story.
Well, I have an idea of what's important to Californians, and I know that Californians voted for it overwhelmingly, and so the California Republican Party will stand with the California voters and will stand with the will of the voters. If this is what the voters want, that's what we're going to stand for.
So Governor Newsom just this week had representatives from Texas to Sacramento to appear with him. He's thinking about the idea of holding a special election to basically get rid of the redistricting panel so that California Democrats can get more Democrats in the House, change the districts for next year, and try to stack the deck in response to what Texas is potentially doing. What's your response from a strategy perspective if there is a special election and if that in fact happens?
This is what California voters want, and this is what the California voters deserve. I don't think that Gavin Newsom trying to start his continued political fight with the president is a reason to change the Constitution and to take California voters' rights away.
But what if California voters in a special election say, we're with Governor Newsom because we want a Democratic House?
Well, we're not going to encourage that. We respect our independent redistricting process.
In terms of the 2026, I know you would like the focus for a lot of these issues to be on state issues.
Yes.
Talking about homelessness and affordability and crime and a lot of the problems here in California. We've seen with a lot of these immigration raids that it has made a lot of the narrative about that, about national issues, about President Trump, about some of those images. From a strategy perspective, in terms of winning elections in California, are some of those ICE raids making your job harder?
Well, I think, first of all, California Republican Party, we stand, #1 issue is with public safety. So if there are people in our state who are here unvetted, who are criminals, drug dealing, members of cartels, murderers, yes, they should absolutely be removed.
There are significant percentages of people who have not committed any other crimes other than being in this country illegally, people who are gardeners and day laborers and all the rest of it, who are being arrested and being deported. Is that a good thing?
That's not what I'm hearing. That's not what I'm hearing.
That's not what you're hearing?
That's not what I see on the Department of Homeland Security. That's not what I'm hearing from our U.S. Attorney, Bill Asaley. Who's being arrested are the criminals that are here illegally and are committing crimes, or who are criminals in other countries that have come over here to escape being prosecuted in their country, and they're being removed.
So for the reports that say it's like upwards of 40–50% of people that have been arrested that aren't connected to other crimes,
I think it's important, again, that we have to dive into those cases and treat them on an individual basis, and again, separate fact from fiction. So
we end with something fun. It's called Personal Issues. This is some of your personal favorites, cultural favorites, as we get to know you. First thing that comes to mind, okay? So Corrin, Rankin, what's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show, I watch everything on Bravo, I have to admit.
Okay,
Bravo's my favorite channel. I like the Real Housewives. I have no favorites. I watch them all.
Favorite movie?
Right now, my favorite movie would probably be, I think, A Star Is Born. I still watch that on a regular basis.
Gaga. Favorite band or musical artist?
That's hard for me because I listen to so many genres of music. I'd probably say maybe like just the 1990s classics or some of what's in my current playlist.
It was a great era on so many different levels, from Tupac and Biggie to NSYNC and Britney. We had a lot of Mariah, so much good stuff in the 90s. And lastly, who is your role model?
I model my political role model would be Nancy Reagan. So I remember when I was a child in the 80s growing up, and she did this great campaign about not doing drugs, and that really stuck with me my entire life. So every time I think about, politically, what kind of drives me to this party as well, it'd probably be her.
And personally?
Personally, I think my family, whether it be our adult children, my husband, my grandson, I admire all of them, and I admire the strength of our family.
I can't believe that you're a grandmother, but congratulations on that. That's a big headline. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you sharing your views. And again, congrats on the relatively new gig.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next week, we've got a different perspective. The national chair of the Democratic Party, Ken Martin, will be here. But up next here, we've got Clayton Kershaw, Dodgers legend, on the importance of giving back to the community. Stay with us. Dodger legend Clayton Kershaw handing out backpacks and hosting a community carnival at the Dream Center in Hollywood. How's it make you feel to be here today?
Great.
Kershaw is a two-time World Series champion, three-time Cy Young Award winner, one-time NL MVP, and 11-time All-Star. In 2012, Major League Baseball named him Humanitarian of the Year for his charitable work, including Kershaw's Challenge, his nonprofit that's raised $23 million for 27 different beneficiaries. For years, the Dream Center in Hollywood has been one of them. It's a 9-acre campus offering free housing and recovery programs to LA's most vulnerable. The Kershaws building a playground here that bears their name. Pastor Matthew Barnett is co-founder of the Dream Center.
He's basically a need hunter, you know. He just looks for wherever there's a need and he fills in.
Well, this week I visited the Dream Center for this exclusive one-on-one interview with Kershaw at the Back to School Bash. How does this event feed your soul?
Well, it's just amazing to see what the Dream Center does. You know, we've been doing this for, over 10 years now, I think. So to see everybody lined up, ready to get their backpacks. And, you know, Ellen and I both remember when we were kids getting to go to, Target or Walgreens and picking out all your school supplies and before the school starts, and how fun that was. So to be able to do that for a lot of kids here today is always just so special for us. And to have our family, our kids here, being able to help volunteer and give back is really important for our family too. So it's just amazing all the way around. You can't say enough good things about what the Dream Center does in this community, in LA in general. So we're just happy to be here again.
And you can't say enough about the good stuff that Kershaw's Challenge does as well. And this started with a girl named Hope.
Yeah, it started, 15 years ago when Ellen went to Africa and met Hope, and it's turned into what it is today. And now we have beneficiaries all over the world, in LA, Dallas, Dominican Republic, Africa, and it's just a testament to our donors. It's our testament to what God had planned for Kershaw's Challenge, obviously, too. So nothing in Ellen and I's wildest dreams would believe that it's here now, but we're just so thankful that we can be good stewards of it and good stewards of our donors and their resources, and have places like the Dream Center to be able to give it to.
So today you're doing your 3,000 backpacks to honor the 3,000 strikeouts.
So, wow, good. I didn't know that's why we're doing that. Perfect. All right.
So walk us through what that moment meant for you. 3,000 strikeouts.
Oh, it was amazing. It was so special. You know, it wasn't a great game pitching wise, but looking back on it, to be able to have that last strikeout be my last pitch, and kind of be able to take that exhale and the breath of relief. I know I stressed out Ellen and the family in the stands, hoping I'd get it done at home. But all the stars aligned for it to happen at home is so special. Get to do it in front of Dodger Stadium and the fans is so special, and a night I'll always remember.
And a great way to honor it here today as well. And you think that something like that might never happen again in baseball history, because baseball has changed, pitching's changed.
It has changed. I think there's a few guys that have a chance at it for sure. But hopefully baseball goes back to starting pitching, becoming more of the forefront, throwing more innings. I don't really know how that's going to happen with the bullpen being as good as it is and everybody throwing 100, but I think eventually it's going to have to go back.
So we just saw you on the All-Star game on Fox. You're mic'd up, talking to Joe Davis and John Smoltz as you're out there.
And we're actually going to get to talk baseball with Clayton. I can't believe you're doing this, Clayton.
I can't either. I'm going to try to throw some cheese real quick. Hold on.
Cal Raleigh.
What is that like? Just talking to broadcasters as you go through the pitching process.
Yeah, it definitely takes the edge off, because you're not really thinking about pitching.
I think I got to go slider here. No, he wants curveball again. All right, fine.
Got him. It's a nice distraction, as you're going through it. But I think it's so fun to help with the entertainment product of the All-Star game for the fans. Probably not something you can do in a game that actually matters, but to be able to do that in the All-Star game was so fun. The whole experience was great for me. So glad I was able to do it, and it was a blast.
I hope you pitch forever, but this is sort of winding down, right? And we're seeing the way that not only the guys at the All-Star game, but the way the people on your team look at you for guidance. What do you think is the lesson that they can learn from this sort of work, and that you pass on to some of the younger guys in baseball?
Well, baseball is just an amazing platform for whatever you're passionate about off the field. So if you just use it for the benefit of others, I think you can really make an impact. And baseball is such a blessing because so many people do like it. There's a lot of fans of the game, and because of that, you have an opportunity to share a platform with something that you really care about off the field. And that's turned into Kershaw's Challenge for Ellen and I, and it's turned into things like the Back to School Bash here today at the Dream Center. So. Yeah, I think that would be my message. Just use it for having a great platform and use it for something good.
Ellen has been your partner in all this. How does she inspire you?
Well, she's everything. I mean, she's been there from the very beginning. She's the one that, basically was the brainchild of Kershaw's Challenge. And, Africa, Hope, all those things wasn't necessarily something that I was super passionate about when we got married. But literally 3 weeks after we got married, I was over going to Africa and meeting Hope and getting to be a part of Arise Africa and all the things. So Kershaw's Challenge is definitely in her DNA. It's what she believed in from the beginning. And it's just amazing how our two worlds kind of collided with Kershaw's Challenge.
And lastly, we've seen your kids grow up before our eyes, and we know they're out here again today. What's the lesson you want them to take from being here? What do you hope that they learn from this experience?
I mean, I think Ellen says it best. I think it's just, we want our kids at a young age to realize that it's never too early to start giving back. It's never too early to start helping other people. And it's almost just like a personality trait or a mindset. It's not something that you're like, hey, I'm going to give back today. It's just your whole way of life. And that's what we want. Callie and Charlie especially, they're older. The other two, we just hope they show up today and they're not throwing tantrums, But the older two especially, we hope they know that.
Well, you're such an inspiration to me and to so many Dodger fans. Thank you for everything you've done on the field, but really thank you for everything you've done off the field. You've made our whole entire community better.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. For more on Kershaw's Challenge, head to kershawschallenge.com. We'll wrap things up for the week after this. We end with a nice shout out for the Issue Is podcast. It was recently named one of the top 100 podcasts in California by FeedSpot. We feature extended conversations with all of our guests. You can check it out for yourself by searching for The Issue Is wherever you stream. We'll be back next week for more of The Issue Is.